Thank you for tuning in, everybody. We are delighted to be with you. We went through the usual moment of fear, uncertainty, and
Heartbreak.
doubt on the Substack app before it starts broadcasting live. I'm Rick Wilson. As always, welcome to Lincoln Square. I am joined by my good friend, Molly Jong-Fast, who is new to Substack.
I know. You're
And
doing
you've
a
seen,
Substack welcome event for me.
I
Thank
am,
you.
it's a Substack welcome event. You are, uh, you've written for Vanity Fair, for The Atlantic, for now the New York Times. You're doing live stuff for the New York Times and contributed
Contributing
to the
writer.
writer to the New York Times, and now you're also on Substack because you can be. And so I'm glad you're here. It's a great community. Everybody is
Because
excited.
you told me to do it. That's
I
why I'm
did tell you to
doing
do
it.
it.
You told me
You
to
know
do
what?
it.
I'm gonna count several people that I told to get on Substack as winners.
Who
In
else
this, Katie
did you
Fang,
tell? Katie Fang, yes.
um, and I'll come up with a list. But I've actually been encouraging people to do this now for about a year because it really is a place where you can engage in a community that is unfiltered, is not worried about, um, are they going to get yelled at by MAGA every day?
Right.
And it's just really built a great new sense of engagement in a media space that you got guys like Jim Acosta who've made a big difference on this platform. Charlie Sykes, big difference on this platform. Everybody who's coming in here is speaking to an audience that is feeling like mainstream media is not keeping up with the evil that the MAGA media and the MAGA political movement is putting out. So glad to have you on the platform. So I want to talk to you first today about this insane story that Politico broke yesterday about these master race young Republicans in their group chat.
Right.
Um,
I did not see it coming.
I did not see it coming.
No.
Um, Most of these guys look like they're the masters of the unlimited buffet table, not the master race. But talk to me about where you see this as a reflection of the bigger MAGA culture that's out there.
Well, what's interesting about it, and actually we talked on the phone this morning about
Yep.
this, which was these are like people like Elise Stefan. These are the
Yep.
people who are
Mike
supposed
Lawler.
to be the normies in the crowd. They are the swingy, they win in Biden districts.
Right.
This crew, they're supposed to be the good guys, relatively speaking, in the Republican Party. And have they have Nazis, people who are joking about the gas chamber and race. And the other thing I just wanted for a second to pause about, which has gotten me so like I feel like you and I both like we marinate in sewage for our jobs. So we
Yes.
don't necessarily get upset by things because we're so used to it,
Our pain tolerance is so high.
so high. But there are two things that really gotten me upset. And one is the Corey Mills stuff. Here's a guy.
Oh
You
yeah.
want to, you do you even know Corey Mills?
I know Corey Mills. He is as
Explain who he is.
unpleasant a human being as you could hope to meet. He was in the
Florida.
Florida legislature for a while. Corey Mills is a Republican congressman from North Central Florida. Um, and a court yesterday granted a restraining order against Mills,
I think this
uh,
is the second one.
that's exactly what to get to. It's the second time this has happened to Corey. And by the way, if you get a restraining
Different
order
girl
by a woman
in Florida.
in Florida, it's a high
Gotta be
bar.
gotta be pretty fucking bad. This
It,
is
it's a
not like
high it's a high bar in the
right,
state of
right, right.
Florida to
Yeah.
get a restraining order, a domestic violence restraining order, which is
And I
not a
think
great does not speak well of Florida. Okay.
yeah, and I think it's important to point out like this is like this is so bad. I mean, anyway, so go on. Yes. So Corey
But
Mills.
he's a member of Congress. He's also one of these stolen valor guys who claims he was in all this hot
Right.
combat and special operations shit. He wasn't. He was in
Right.
the army, but he wasn't like crawling through the dark of night to kill Al Qaeda with a
Right.
knife.
Right. But
Um,
I think the beating women, that's
but
that's gonna be my red line right there.
yeah,
Yeah.
but so Corey's a disreputable guy as a general rule.
Right.
He's not, and he did not have a lot of allies or friends when he was in the Florida legislative process. They thought of him as kind of a skeezy weirdo, and now this is the second time he's gotten a restraining order. He has
He was
he
married to someone in legislature's sister.
Right, and so that didn't work out very well. He's part of this sort of club of at the time, these kind of bad boy Republican, asshole misogynist guys
Right.
who they had a thing called the game, like who could
Right,
screw
right,
the
right.
most lobbyists or staffers, and you got points if
Yeah.
they were under 25, all the
Yeah, yeah,
bullshit,
yeah,
right?
yeah, yeah. Well, you
So,
talked about
but he is a guy also who's a very close personal relationship with Byron Donalds, who is the
running for
African
governor
American congressman running for governor of Florida right now from Southwest Florida.
versus
Um,
David Jolly. Do you think
Who
David
no,
Jolly
no, no,
can
no,
win?
David's running yeah, well, yeah, yeah, absolutely, David, yeah. He and David were running, against each other. There's a
David's running as a Democrat.
right, but there's also a Republican primary coming too for Donalds because the Byron's nickname in Florida, Byron Degenerate, is not a mistake, it's not an accident. And
Right.
he and Mills are very close personal friends to the point where a lot of people are like, "Wait till you see the text messages," because the girlfriends have them. And so we're gonna see Mills being a sort of a loud, ugly figure. I don't think he'll get thrown out.
Because why
Of
would he? But I want to take a
but
minute to talk.
Ron DeSantis will expel a Democratic county commissioner if they have a parking ticket,
Yeah, but
but not Corey Mills.
now I just want to talk about Corey Mills for one more minute because
Yeah,
Mike Johnson, who is very Christian, I don't know if you know this, he's very Christian. When
very Christian.
asked about Corey Mills, said, it's a clip. You should look at it. It's Aaron Rupar doing God's work, and
Yep.
it's a clip. And when you see the short clip, the long clip is actually worse.
Oh,
So
yes.
find the long clip because the short clip is like, let's talk about something serious. The long clip is like, him just brushing. What is domestic violence?
Right. Who even knows if that's real? These
Right,
uppity women, they get real
women,
mouthy, and sometimes you
right.
gotta teach them a lesson.
Exact I mean, it's just like it is literally like being in hell. I have to say, like, we are just gone at every, like, at every point, we have just it's just a such a depressing state.
It really is, but it's I mean, looping back on, like, these Nazi kids joking around about,
Yeah,
"I'm gonna put him in the oven," and the
yeah.
watermelon people, and calling black people monkeys, all this crap.
It's important to remember
It's
their
a
race.
culture those are young kids in this culture, but they came up through this culture by watching it's the old, "I learned it from watching you, Donald Trump. I
Right,
learned it from watching you, Mike Johnson. I learned it from watching." These kids have learned that they're gonna get rewarded
right,
for being racist Hitler stands and misogynist dickweeds, and it's not that I'm clutching my pearls about people who say the F word. These are people who are there was a elected state senator in Vermont on that group chat,
right. No,
and
no,
Corey Mills is like a more of a grown-up compared to
right,
them.
these kids are not kids, they're, like, in their 40s.
Right.
But think it's important to realize also what these group chats show is that these people are not pretending to be racist, they're racist. They're not
Oh, yeah.
pretending to be anti-Semitic, they're anti-Semitic.
And
And that
Corey Mills is a grown-up version or an older version. He's an older millennial version of these kids.
yeah. Yeah, yeah. But I think what I think is important to go back to is that when these there was this piece in the Financial Times after Trump got elected, and
Right,
it was like, we're so happy we can say pussy and the R word without getting canceled.
right.
Okay.
Yep.
And it was like, and what I think we didn't realize then, and by the way, that was only 9 months ago. So fuck if I know, or 10 months ago, was that what they were describing wasn't freedom, but was actually like a fraying of the social contract. Like
Yeah.
what we're seeing is like people who said, like, we want to live in society and be respectful. And then Donald Trump's reelection was like, no, no, you don't have to live in society and be respectful. You can do whatever the fuck you want. And that is how we got here.
They built a separate not just a separate political culture, they built a separate culture for
Yeah.
MAGA. And
Yeah.
I saw, it was far back as 2016, 2015. I saw this starting to sort of emerge where we need to have some focus groups one time. And this guy's like, well, I got fired because I had to train my replacement for the company to ship my job to Vietnam. But
Right.
I want to, I'm going to vote for Trump because you know what? Then I can say the N word again. And he said the N word in the focus group, and everybody else was like, and now that would be like, ha ha, own the libs, triggered,
But I
LOL.
also but, they were training their replacements to go to Vietnam. Now they're training their replacements to go to a computer, which will make your energy bill more expensive. Like, make
Congrats,
this
everybody.
step.
AI is wonderful. At least Sam Altman announced today that ChatGPT will be getting a sex bot mode. I'm like,
Oh, good. That's
motherfucker, cure
just what we
cancer. If
need.
you're gonna use AI for something, go cure cancer. Go
Did you
solve climate. Go do something with AI
No.
aside from giving weird incel MAGAs another way to bank themselves into oblivion where they don't have to ever interact with real women.
I mean, the thing that I and again, maybe I'm doing all of this wrong, but the thing that I hate so much about AI is, like, I don't wanna interact with fake people. I don't wanna read articles written by robots.
You
I
see,
don't wanna
50% of the
watch.
content this year
Yeah,
produced on the internet is by AI.
yeah. Like, but it's also like, how do I
And
get
you and I both as writers, like spend the time to grind away at ideas and thoughts and communicating to people. And it's kind of insulting, honestly.
well,
It pisses me off.
I don't fucking care, I just don't wanna have to interface with it. Like, I
Right.
just want like, if you wanna go live in a fake world, like, we can listen to Donald Trump and be like, "Yes, he's bringing $10 trillion and healthcare's gonna be free," and
Prescription
he's gonna
drugs will cost 18,000% less.
Right, exactly, like, that's fine, I'm happy for you to live in that world, but the rest of us have to live in, like, the normal world where things are real or not real.
You know how
Yeah,
the and it's like every phone, every browser, every app now is like with AI. I think you could market a browser that says there's no fucking AI. This will filter
right.
out AI content. This will block AI generated slop. I
Yeah,
think
and
people
if
would
you're
go
a
for that at
right
this point.
by the way, and if you're a writer who uses AI, that is like, you can go fuck yourself. I mean, quite frankly, like,
You
yeah,
got a gun to
yeah,
your own head if you're doing that.
yeah, it's so bleak. I mean,
That's
talk
so
about
bad.
training your replacement,
Right? Right?
you know?
And I just think though that there's been so much generated out of AI video that's like lately so terrifying
Yeah,
because we have reached a point. I wrote about this in 2020 and I said at some point in the 2024 election, you will be unable to discern between computer generated AI video and reality. I was a little early. I was a little
yeah,
ahead of that. But now, I mean, there are people who believe that they've seen a video of Jesus being embracing Charlie Kirk in the afterlife. They
yeah.
believe that Donald Trump is pulling kittens out of a fiery building that Gavin
Or
Newsom said.
my
It's
favorite is
insane.
like people saying, "Well, we know it's not true, but it feels true." And that is how we get here with this like
So
post-truth
much.
America. If it feels true, if it's still not actually true.
Yeah, it that well, at least it communicates what my gut tells me and what my uncle on Facebook told me, who knows a cop.
So let me ask you, I got some information. I got my Chicago people sent me this thing today or yesterday, the
Right.
photos from the Chicago Sun-Times, and they were saying, like, "This is fucked." Um, what do you think? I mean, it clearly, this is meant to scare people. It's meant to I don't know what it's meant to do. It's meant to stick
It
it to Pritzker because Trump is mad that Pritzker's a real billionaire. I mean, like, what do you think the goal
yeah.
here is?
I mean, look, all of the performative violence of ICE, there's a reason that all of these major cities with ICE, that they have deployed film crews with all these jump
Right,
out squads and
right,
all these guys. There's always a film crew. Why does
right,
Chrissy Nome travel with 3 cameramen? Because they're always trying to get content to feed the MAGA media ecosystem. And if
right,
that content attacks a Democratic leader, and that they
right.
can then say, well, Pritzker is siding with the Antifa terrorists who are shooting at our good at our brave ICE agents, that's just a bonus for them.
Is
The
it
people that
though?
are consuming it do not care. They don't believe any other media out there.
My
And
favorite sorry.
but it shows you how determined this administration is to control access to the truth and
Right,
access to the content flow of the truth. You know what? They know that MSNBC or CNN can only deploy across the whole country, folks, about 3 film crews at a time.
right.
Across the whole country.
Yeah,
They're willing to go out and have influencers and scamfluencers and government-funded media
right,
production
right.
building up this torrent, this tidal wave
Which
of garbage.
government, Rick?
Hmm?
Which government?
Oh, yeah, exactly. Which government is largely the question these days. Although we are gonna find out on Twitter soon, they're gonna mark, and I think that policy does not last, by the way. Twitter's gonna mark the country of origin. So we're gonna see, like, MAGA mama from Dallas is
Oh,
broadcasting out of Armenia.
yeah, yeah, no
But
question. I mean, for and we'll see that for, like, 2 days, and then Elon will be like, "No."
right, correct.
Yeah.
He's like his business model is directly in danger at that point.
Right.
But I
Facts
mean,
care about Elon's feelings.
they do so much. Um, I also think that it's important that all this media they're doing is framing one big question. It's like, are you with Trump or are you part of the Antifa terrorist insurrection?
Yes.
I am.
Yeah.
Yes, I am. I'm part of Antifa. I am a come and arrest me. I'm part of Antifa.
I want 2 seconds on SNL because I'm, like, a big Tina Fey fan, I love her, and I loved her and Amy Poehler. "Are you a big tough guy? Tough enough for the army? No.
No. Tough enough for the
For
cops?
the police?
No.
No."
Come on down to ice.
That was so I mean, those guys really nailed it, and, it's so interesting
You know how
because
you know how they nailed it? Because DHS on Monday morning was like, "Yeah, well, you suck."
yeah. They're definitely coming for Saturday Night Live, and they're sending Saturday Night Live to Alligator Alcatraz. Did we ever find out what happened to all those people in Alligator Alcatraz
We
that
have not. They
disappeared?
have disappeared into the night. No one knows where they are. No one knows who has possession of them. No one will answer a single question from DHS because they're literally DHS's answer is like, "Fuck off, libtard."
Right, the
They
poop
won't they
emoji.
will not answer congressional inquiries. They will not answer media inquiries. They will not answer legal inquiries. DHS is a lawless organization inside this government,
Is it
which is
really
a
run
lawless
by
government.
Corey?
Hmm?
Is it really run by Corey? It feels like
It's
it's
really
run
run
by
by Stephen
Corey.
Miller.
Right,
And
okay.
look, Corey put Noam there and because he wants her to run for president in 2028.
Yeah, that makes sense.
He's
That
on the
seems
list of people gonna
very
run.
that seems very likely.
Oh,
She's
yeah.
good because she seems very presidential.
She's
It's the dog killing that does it.
it's right.
Americans love
She's
a
a woman who will
dog
kill a
killing
dog and
politician.
write about it. Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
yeah.
great
That
judgment.
to me is like right
The
there.
best. Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Right
yeah.
there. But look, I think we're gonna have a an inflection point pretty soon where Trump will give in to announcing the Insurrection Act. He'll say certain cities are in open insurrection against our
So
government.
so let me ask you a question because I want you to explain this to me. Do you think that um Steve Bannon is saying that Trump is going to run in 2020
8.
whatever 8
Yeah.
because he doesn't want Trump to seem like a lame duck and he knows the
No,
danger of being a
I
lame
think
duck?
Steve Bannon would settle for a geriatric and senile Trump in office
Right.
because then it would empower even more Bannon-style acolytes like Stephen Miller inside
But
the government to do
but don't
even more horrible things that Steve Bannon likes.
right. But let's just go through this for a second. Trump is going to be 83. So that's not a young guy. He seems certainly he's got I mean, I was listening to Politico and they were like, he's an amazing stamina. And I was like, he's not listening to this, guys. You don't have to go North Korea on this.
Right.
But he's
The dear leader
eh,
has played 36 holes of golf and hit a home
right.
run, a home
Right.
run,
They were
hole in one with
literally
every.
right. They were literally like his genes must be incredible. And I was like, he's not listening to this, Access Farmers. Just chill out.
Right.
But I just wonder, like, he'll be 83. He's obviously exhausted, even if he's running around and doing a lot of stuff and, whatever. I just wonder, like, they must know they can't,
Look,
like,
look,
you know,
but Trump is a gambler, Molly. He's always been a gambler. Like
right,
January 6th was a gamble. He thought,
right,
you know what? They may cause some trouble and the Senate will break and they'll invalidate the election and they'll say too much voter fraud in Philadelphia with all those black people, and that'll be that.
right,
He's a gambler. So he'll be around long enough. And remember, the Trump family scam is the first time they've ever really made real money. And
right.
they've made billions in excess, in deal
Yeah,
making, in building, getting these bribes from overseas hotel deals.
right,
It's like, we're giving you a $5 billion hotel deal in Qatar. It'll cost $1 billion to build the hotel. Whatever you guys do with that money and the rest of it, just go
right,
get it.
right,
Um,
right.
so this is the best scam they've ever
Airplanes for
had. The crypto
everyone.
scam is a
Right,
great thing. They've never had a better scam. So they're going to want this to continue.
right,
And I don't know how you make this continue unless you put another Trump in office, whether it's Donald or Donald Jr. or Eric
right,
or Ivanka or somebody in that family. They recognize that the best business model they've ever had is the government. They're
right.
going to come back and try this shit again, one way or the
No,
other.
I think that's
And I think
right.
that's it. I think it's funny because Vance really wants to be president,
Right, I know.
and he
It's
got
really
punched in the
amusing.
face so hard by Stephanopoulos this weekend. And look, Marco wants to be president, and Hegseth wants to
Right,
be president.
and they
They
all wanna
all
be
want to be
president.
president. Bondi wants to be president. They
Well,
all want to be president.
because there's no, barrier to entry, right? Like, if
If
you can
Donald
just put
Trump
your
were a
hand on a
right,
wrong.
if Donald Trump were a childless man, okay,
Right,
the 2028 primary would have 50 Republicans in it.
yeah,
And Vance, for all that Vance has like tried to take on the character, like play the character of transgressive MAGA troll now on Twitter,
right. It's unbelievable.
at the end of the day, it's fake.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, he's
No,
got some 22-year-old Nazi kid fucking tweeting for him. At the end of the day,
yeah,
everybody knows it's fake.
yeah,
Some of these people that want to run are more genuine extremist dipshits than even JD Vance. So when you get Noam and you get Hegseth, you get Marco and you get Bondi and you get Mike Lee and you get all these other flotsam and jetsam, MTG coming in from the left of the party, which
right.
boom. What do
I
you think of
know.
what do you make of that? I
I wanna
mean,
have just one more minute on Vance because I
okay.
think Vance is a uniquely bad politician, and
Oh
I'm, like,
yeah.
very impressed with what a bad politician he is.
JD is not a natural. In order for him to win in a Republican state of Ohio, Peter Thiel had to open up the checkbook and
Right,
splooge like $50 million
right,
into
very
a state
expensive.
where that's like buying all the TV stations in Ohio,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, yeah.
He's a bad politician.
Yeah,
Now, Trump, in some ways, I have a theory of the case. I don't know what you think about this. I think Trump, in some ways, chose Vance because he is a weak man,
yes, 100%.
and
That's the
he
same
chose
thing he
Vance
did
because he's
with
not
the
he's
other
not a
vice
natural.
president. Right, with Pence. He did the same thing with Pence.
Yep.
He doesn't wanna
Yep.
be replaced. He wants somebody who he knows can't take him.
Right, and that can't build a big enough network that wouldn't get snitched on if there was a plot against him.
I believe the biggest threat to Trump, and I think Trump knows this, is RFK Jr. Because RFK Jr. has his own
He has a cult of his
constituency,
own. He has a cult of his
whereas
own.
no one else does. Everyone else is just trying to out Trump Trump.
Yeah, I don't think there is anybody else in that circle that has the same level of fanaticism that RFK has built.
Right,
And
RFK, and also RFK wants it. And also someone I'm friends with told me that they saw him working out in the go this is the worst thing I take no pleasure to announce that because these guys are like JD Van not JD Vance, RFK is, like, around because he lived he's in LA or in New York.
Right.
So a friend of mine was like, "I saw him working out in Gold's Gym in the jeans, and he is hot." And I was like, "Shut up. Please stop telling me things like this." And they were like, "I would do him." And I was like, "Again, does nothing for me. Please don't tell me stories. Like, stop confiding in me that you wanna
Mo
sleep with
Molly,
these."
don't you find my roadkill diet
But
hot?
he's also, like, he's quite old. I mean, he's not a young guy. He's in his mid-70s.
Yeah, and I'm guessing that a lifetime of, heroin and adultery, takes it out of you.
What's that thing? Tobacco
Zin, zin,
Zin.
zen.
Zin. It's
Yeah,
really gross. Someone was
really
like, "Zin
nasty.
is actually not as bad," and I was like, "Stop
No,
it.
no, stop. All
Stop
chaw is
it."
all chewing tobacco. I don't care if it comes in a cute branded container with a little bag around it. All chaw is bad.
But it is like you see, like, make Maha actually in every which way. Like, here's the guy who's the king of Maha. Here's what he does: fake tans, choose some kind of nicotine
He's
puff.
obviously on testosterone.
I mean,
I'm
I've
sorry, no
never seen
70-year-old
anyone in
guy
this
is that fucking jacked
right
without being on the juice.
works out in jeans. Like, these are not. This is not making anyone healthier.
No, no. And all of all the cult-like fervor of the weird MAGA anti-vax raw
Right.
milk trad wife thing,
Yeah.
he is the closest one to being able to compete in building something like that,
Yes. For sure.
and having a straightforward narrative that appeals to the conspiratorial nature of MAGA. I'm gonna make sure the food people and the drug people don't poison your children.
Right.
Even though it's a lie, and he's willing to have kids die because of measles,
And even though
and
Trump is saying that he wants forever chemicals in the water again, right? He's loosening
yeah,
restriction on
we're
forever chemicals.
undoing the BPA restrictions and the fluorocarbon, whatever it is,
Right.
all that crap's being undone. Um, RFK still is convincing a lot of MAGAs like, well, the only problem is circumcision. That's why we have
Right.
autism.
Circumcision and
Like a
Tylenol.
Tylenol.
But two things about circumcision and Tylenol. One, Tylenol is a way to blame the mothers for autism,
Right,
right? You took Tylenol, you made your kid autistic, when in fact, the evidence, I mean, I hate to bring up evidence here, but that
right. God knows
it may
facts
be
enter the discussion.
right. It may be that older sperm has some that ladies and gentlemen, that sperm does not stay good forever, team.
No,
So
and the increasing median age of childbirth means older sperm and older eggs,
yeah,
and there is a lot more evidence that that is the
that
causal
yes.
factor than there is evidence that Tylenol or circumcision. There is, to
Right.
my knowledge, literally no evidence that circumcision causes.
But Tylenol is a way to blame mothers, and circumcision is a way to blame Jews. I'm
Yeah,
just saying, I'm not like super paranoid about anti Semitism. Uh, I'm Jewish, whatever. It's not something I focus on, but I do think circumcision is a weird call out at this
uh,
moment.
yes, I think it's a weird call out. I was surprised the Department of Health and Human Services didn't tweet a they with parentheses around it,
Right. Want
circumcise
you
their
to,
kids and
yeah,
cause
yeah.
autism.
There's definitely, I mean, this is nothing good. Like, we are in a moment where nothing good is coming from this
No, we've got a lot
administration.
of terrible, horrible, no good stuff right now.
Yeah. Yeah. But the good news is no, there is no good news. But in Chicago, those photographs from Chicago are unfucking believable. I mean, those pictures of those cops.
Listen, these there will reach a point where the unpopularity of the immigration stuff, which is unpopular, folks.
Yes. And is
The
only
majority of
getting
America
more
does not like this.
unpopular.
A big majority does not like this.
Yeah.
About 25% of America, the same truck nut people, the same boat parade people, they love it. They think it's great fun.
And even Boat Parade doesn't want
But those
old
people are
people.
also now watching
Yeah.
little old ladies get knocked the fuck down on the ground.
Right.
They're watching these cops, scream at people because they have an accent. I don't know if you've seen
Yeah.
this clip that's running around right now of a Jamaican woman in the subway in New York. She gets
No.
a bunch of these ICE guys bow up on her and start like, "Take a swing, lady, you'll go to jail." Jamaican woman, US citizen, who
Yeah,
absolutely goes ham on them in every possible way. I'll share the clip later. This woman absolutely goes bonkers on them like, "Step up to me, sonny, I'll knock your ass down." They don't
yeah,
the ICE guys are reaching a limit where they couldn't find millions of
right.
MS-13 terrorists. They
That's a
couldn't
real
find
problem for them. There's
right.
the Tren de Aragua, that's like 20 people. Like, you
Right.
got
They're
it,
like
man.
Stephen Miller goes, "The building we invaded in Chicago had thousands of Tren de Aragua." Then it
Yeah.
was 37 individuals connected to Tren de Aragua. Then it was one guy who might be an associate of somebody who's in Tren de Aragua.
I wanna mention here for a second, and this sounds like a non sequitur, but I don't know how much more time left we have, and I
Yeah,
wanna just mention this is like, I got my flu vaccine and my COVID vaccine today.
good
You
for you.
I'm sure you did too. You know who else
Yep.
did?
Donald Trump,
Yeah, because you know
Donald Trump,
why? He's 79 years old.
and vaccines work. Oh, shocking.
And, like, if you're a 79-year-old who people want and who a lot of wealthy people want to stay healthy, you're gonna get vaccinated. So, I
Yep.
think it's really important to talk about, like,
Just so all of
how
you guys know, every one of RFK's children were vaccinated. His grandchildren are vaccinated. Donald Trump's children are vaccinated. Donald Trump's
yeah,
grandchildren are all vaccinated. Every
right,
single one of them.
yeah.
So don't
That
die for something
said
stupid.
right, that said, RFK Jr. is swimming in Rock Creek Park, which seems to
Mm,
me with his grandchildren I mean, as someone who has been to Rock Creek Park, like, I've
many
seen that
times.
creek. I don't wanna jump in it
No.
in my
Let me tell you, folks,
jeans.
the as Rock Creek Park meanders down from Maryland into DC, it meanders past a whole bunch of sewage and septic tank stuff that drains into
Yes,
Rock Creek Park.
yes, yes. Don't do
Bobby, you do you, boo. All right, hey,
yeah.
Molly, I know your time is running short, so is mine. I'm gonna get back to writing because I got a book draft due November
Yes,
1st. I know
subscribe to my Substack,
you have a
please. I don't
Substack
know
that
how
people
to
should
do it.
follow.
I'm
Hit up Molly's
trying,
Substack,
guys.
everybody. It's amazing,
Please,
and I
it's
recommend it highly, and
views, it's culture, it's
it's all the
authoritarianism.
things. And I will talk to you, my friend, on Sunday.
Bye.
Bye. See you, folks. Thanks for watching. Tune in.